house. Big Zeus. Every people's house. Big Zeus. Pull up to the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite.
Tiffany for the people, good morning.
Strong.
Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on.
Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power play.
All day I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Powers in the air. We knocking on the door.
We wanna hear your soul. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. Hey.
Yeah, y'all think this is a joke.
Take it back and write the code.
1600, got your soul.
Let's go, ladies.
On the wall, they staring at me like I'm cold.
Greatest story ever told.
I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Come true. All I need is a spark.
Red phone.
But you don't know who is on my line.
Got the
Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside. And the gates is locked. This power never divides. Sitting for the block. Yeah, buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house, power's in the air. It's the people's
Good
house.
morning.
We knocking on your door. It's the people's house. We wanna hear your soul.
Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. All right, let's get this show started. You know what's gonna happen. We might have. So far, so good. All right, let's get this show started. So far, so good. All right, nothing crazy. It's an echo. I can't hear you. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see if I can hear. Is there an echo? I don't hear an echo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You have an echo. Everyone else have an echo. I don't have an echo. I don't hear it. I don't hear the echo. Yes. Maybe you gotta reset the app, but let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We don't got much time.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class.
You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with
Tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Good morning. We got tools for that, don't worry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing? No echo, G-Man? I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac. That's true. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Whoa, what a weekend. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Woo. Here goes. We're gonna do it.
I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
Live?
Yes. It was radical.
Oh, it was?
It was horrible.
Oh.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
It's like deja vu.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot. And we once again are back and gathered once again to try to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of you know who, Donald J. Trump and his legions of MAGA possessed demons. And I'm your host and I'm your pilot, and you know exactly what we do here. What we do is undeniable. What we do here is irrefutable. What we do here, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, is undebatable. We hold these Trump supporters accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes, right? And believe you me, it's like when it comes to dirty deeds and crimes, isn't it safe to say MAGA has clearly, honestly, hit the jackpot? I mean, boy, oh boy. So what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, WVIP, let's go. Is before I get into that, let me take care of some very, very, very important housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H as well is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. The second H as well, it's because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I honestly will be the first to apologize, all right? But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt does not mean Big Zeus owes you an apology. Most likely, it means you need to do what? Sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast, W Zeus. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, which is incredibly one of the most important H's of them all, honestly, and everyone knows this, even though I got people within the kingdom that try to act like it's not true. It's true. It is because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. Now, like I said, what we do is spectacular. It's undeniable. It's theatrical. We hold Donald Trump and his legion of supporters accountable because look at what they've done to this great country of ours. They've ruined it. They're trying to ruin it. But unfortunately, unlike them, we won't surrender our souls to Donald Trump, right? What we do is we stand up to the MAGA demon. What we do is we help these hypocrites, these liars, these so-called false prophets, these so-called protectors of children understand the error of their ways and hopefully wake some of them up and get them out of the cult. All right. And so before I go any further, let me ask this question. Is there anyone out there still supporting Donald Trump besides this MAGA demon I ran into over the weekend? You know, Erica, you were there and some of you were there, and I'll address this MAGA demon. He's unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is Blagga. It's always Blagga. It's always Blagga that has something to say to Big Zeus. Now, and they know who they are. But I don't want to say his name because I don't want to turn around and do him a favor and make him famous more than he is with his 2 followers in his live that he hosts. He didn't have any followers until I showed up, right? And I don't even call the people that actually follow what I do followers. I call y'all agents of light. So are there any Trump supporters out there still, ladies and gentlemen? Identify yourselves, because the funniest thing is happening, ladies and gentlemen. And you all of you in the chat, y'all sit here with me Monday through Friday, right? I don't ever say, y'all send Big Zeus this, send Big Zeus that. I've never said that. Anybody that's been following Big Zeus on the app, they know I've been standing on what I talk about since day one when I only had 2 followers in here. But I understand there's jealousy out there, especially in Blagga. They didn't see how we got to where we're at by simply telling the truth. We got to where we're at on this platform by simply telling the truth and just destroying people out there that are lying. All right. And if people want to support the platform, then they can. That's nothing unusual. But I go into this Blagga space, ladies and gentlemen, and I tell you, these people, I sit there and I say all show long, Monday through Friday, are there any Trump supporters that want to come up in the box and have a discussion with Big Zeus? Don't I say that, ladies and gentlemen? Attacking. Don't I say that? I say, come up here. And what do? They sit there quiet as a church mouse, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have nothing to say to me when I invite them up here. And contrary to what some of my fellow Democrat friends out here, they say, Zeus, why do you even talk to these people? I don't know how you do it. You have so much patience, because I truly do think sometimes you can reach these people. But it's just incredible to me, ladies and gentlemen, that I've said it and I'll say it again. Are there any Trump supporters out here? Anybody out there that still supports Donald Trump? Please identify yourselves in my chat. Watch the chat gets real silent. No. Why don't they want to come up here? Why don't the Trump supporters that have an issue with the way that I'm running my broadcast come up here, right? And I play this clip every day, right?
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
Don't I play this?
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back.
I play it all the time, right, Erica?
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Right. So, and I play that every morning because whether you're on the left or the right, I always say, listen, you might not like the way that I get down and operate this platform, but I'm doing what I do because I'm in my bag. I feel comfortable doing it this way. I lay into these Trump supporters because I do it like this offline. All right. This is just when I get on and show you how I do it offline. But I'm always engaging MAGA and letting these people understand there's something wrong with up here. And so we'll go into this weekend. I run into this MAGA possessed demon. I had no idea, ladies and gentlemen, that this knucklehead was a Zeus hater, right? Because you don't know who's seen you or not. And he gets me into the live, and it was like an ambush. And he says, Zeus, I have a problem with you because you and the people that go onto your platform, you all blamed Donald Trump for the floods in Texas. And he knows who he is. And I said, what are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about? I listened to your live and what you did. And he used some of the strongest and most vile language I've ever heard coming out of a blagger person's mouth. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is he really doing this for Donald Trump? Like, bro, you really love Donald Trump's diaper that much that you can't process the fact that when you have a breakdown in government, that translates to lives being lost. You can't process. And he just popped off and tried to accuse me, Erica, you were there, and just say everything we say on this platform is lying, that we don't care about children. And I said, this is typical MAGA behavior. They turn themselves into victims, right? And I started thinking to myself, why didn't he have the strength to come onto my platform and say those words to me? Because I've been I give you all 2.5 hours every day, Monday through Friday. Get on up here. Show us what you know. Explain to us what we don't know. And they never do it. And so then he said something, ladies and gentlemen, and I didn't know it, but I went back and did my research. He said, I called you out, Zeus. I called you out, Zeus. And I'm saying, what are you talking about? I just got here. What are you talking about? I called you out. So I said, okay. I went and did my research, ladies and gentlemen. And so what we're going to do is, this is worthy of Lake of Fire treatment. And normally Big Zeus, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't like to do this. But when you have folks like this that are out here spreading lies and saying disgusting things because they don't want to take ownership of the fact that they've allowed themselves to be misled and manipulated by Donald Trump, even at the point now where you see innocent children whose lives have been lost in the state of Texas, not because of anything they've done. It's because their government failed them in so many ways. Because guess what, MAGA? While y'all were so busy digging a ditch to try to bury your Democrats and stuff like that, you didn't realize that the Bible has universal laws at play. All right. And Isaac Newton has these same universal laws. Go look up Newton's laws, MAGA. These are things that are in the universe that they're undebatable, right? Every action has basically a consequence and stuff like that. And so what I want to do is help this MAGA demon, this brother, understand why, unfortunately, I will never, ever listen to what he had to say. And I will always blame Donald Trump for anything that he does that translates into failure. All right. Because I'm not in a cult. Right. We're not in a cult. So what we're going to do is this, ladies and gentlemen, and they know who they are. I'm going to play to you all what this MAGA demon did. All right. And this video got a whopping 3 or 4 views. So I guess this is what they meant when they said they called out Big Zeus. And then we're going to get straight to judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to this triggered MAGA demon that somehow watches my show, but never comes up when I ask them to come up. But I showed up on his platform, didn't I? I showed up on his platform because I don't got nothing to hide. All right, let's listen to this MAGA demon.
We got a content creator on here by the name of Zeus, who's spreading this bullshit ass lie about the Texas floods, and he's blaming Donald Trump. He's blaming politicians.
You got that right.
And this is what the fuck I'm talking about. When you motherfuckers get on this app and these podcasts, and you just try to make money off the pain and suffering of Americans. Instead of trying to help. This motherfucker's life is literally dedicated to shitting on Texas. Shitting on people who are trying to help their fucking state. Shitting on the fact that these people are trying to help their people, help the community, help these kids. And you're just trying to make a fucking dollar, you piece of fucking shit. Zeus, you are a piece of fucking shit, and I said it. And anybody who tries to come on this app and try to make money off the pain and suffering of a state, off the pain and suffering of victims who lost their lives, lost their property, lost their jobs, lost their friends, their loved ones, lost a whole fucking fire department. You are a fucking piece of shit. And Zeus, you are a fucking piece of shit. You are. And anybody who agrees with you is a fucking piece of shit. I said it. Come for me, baby. I want all the motherfucking smoke. Please. True line the fuck out. So we...
That's enough. Got it off your chest, bro? Yeah. Instead of actually directing your anger at the person who's controlling the purse strings, right? Donald Trump and your governors and your state and local officials, you're getting triggered by Big Zeus, right? I get it out. Get it out. This is my favorite part, though, right here. Go ahead, get it out now, brother. Right here.
About the Texas floods. And you're just trying to make a fucking dollar, you piece of fucking shit. Zeus, you are a piece of fucking shit, and I said it. And anybody who tries to come on this app and try to make money off the pain and suffering of a state, off the pain and suffering of victims who lost their lives, lost their property.
That part, ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. So what I'm going to do is this. What I'm going to do is this. To this MAGA demon, you can say whatever you want to say about Big Zeus, but it doesn't mean it's true. W. Rick, it doesn't mean it's true. You can even say whatever you want to say about my platform. It doesn't mean it's true. What's true is that God is truly talking to this nation, all right, and especially to you. See, what happened in Texas, contrary to what you and I talked about, was preventable. You all deny science and you act as though you know everything about how the universe works. But then you want to sit here and be the victim when a flash flood strikes your behind. Now, we're gonna have to restart the live. But before I restart it, ladies and gentlemen, and I knew that was gonna end up happening because I know I'm going somewhere that they can't handle. I'm going to go ahead and do my first round of Lake of Fire. All right. And this is for all the science denying brothers and sisters out there, especially Blagga, who just love to lie and totally, instead of calling Donald Trump out on his BS, you want to turn around and blame people like me for simply shining a light on darkness. Unfortunately, your work, it doesn't translate into you going to heaven. Where does it translate you into going? Oh, I got something for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send this previous guest, this knucklehead, this knuckle dragger on TikTok, who somehow created himself to be a victim. He's not a victim. He's an agent of chaos and he's an agent of dark. Let's all do this. Let's send him where he came from. Straight to hell.
Silence, you matter, demon.
W. Zeus. Actually, I don't know if I want to. I don't even know if I care about restarting right now. I feel a certain type of way. We're just going to keep rocking and rolling, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And so what I'm doing is this, ladies and gentlemen, to the people out there, honestly, if you do not like the way that I am running my broadcast, scroll on and go and do whatever it is that you're doing. There's billions of people on the planet. Why are you sitting over here allowing yourself to get triggered by what I'm saying? And I have the answer for you. It's because you honestly know that what I'm saying, or the people that come up here, what we're saying, you know it's true deep down in your souls. But you also understand that, unfortunately, as a result of all the lies and the decisions that you've made, you're in a situation right now that trying to turn around doesn't make sense, or it's going to also cost you. It might actually cost you, now that I think about it, right? Because think about it. You voted for this, right? Right? They when they won the election, and you see folks around here getting mistreated, all right, alligator, Alcatraz, that's inhumane conditions. You can't sit around here, plant seeds of evil, and then sit here and try to act like those evil seeds are going to reap good fruit. These are universal laws, and this is why I say it's seeds of evil. Alligator, Alcatraz, Seacot, going on to these places where immigrants are working and just randomly grabbing them and taking them and shoving them in the back of paddy wagons. And your own justification is, oh, well, they're in the country illegally. Oh, Biden gave the immigrants this money. Okay, so let me go ahead and put something else and nip this in the bud. I'll entertain some of the conspiracy. So let's just say, hypothetically, Biden was housing immigrants. At least he was doing it in a humane way. Yeah. The same money that Biden was spending, we're watching Donald Trump spend not just that, but 3 or 4 times more, treating these people in an inhumane way. And I say to myself, isn't God the author of life, MAGA? Doesn't God give life? Doesn't God give life? Let me ask the Trump supporters. And look at this. Where are the Trump supporters at? Where are the so-called Christians at? Does God give life, MAGA? Where are you at? They don't got any answers. And the answer to that is, of course, these are God's people. These are God's creatures. So how are you going to sit up here and then create, you sit, I hear what they're doing in Alligator Alcatraz. The mosquitoes biting them. They're giving them old sour food. You know, the water is the toilet water. You treat these folks worse than you treat dogs. And then you want to sit up and come and try to tell folks like me, oh, I do care. No, you don't. You don't care. You're a bunch of liars and you're a bunch of hypocrites. And like I said, hell will truly be your portion. W. Zeus. Now, and I'm going to say this. No. 382 Jim. You shouldn't be asking me to stop unless you're talking about telling Donald Trump to stop. Because 382 Jim, in case you haven't been following what's been happening within the cult like I have, there's a lot of other folks who've told Donald Trump to stop that didn't. And you know what? He didn't stop. And this is why this nation right now, we're sitting right now. And instead of debating things that could actually help benefit Americans, we just spent a whole doggone weekend dealing with Donald Trump's past. Yes, the E-files. This whole weekend, it has been nothing but the E-files and what Donald Trump's ties to them are. This is why I say God's judgment is truly upon this nation, MAGA. And you're not gonna make me stop saying it. No, until y'all truly repent and get out of this cult, we're going to continue to deal with chaos and calamity like you've never seen before, because this stuff could be totally prevented if y'all will wake up and stop smelling this man's dirty, disgusting diaper. No, it's not my opinion. This is facts. So I'll give you some real stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I got evidence of it. How did we get here as a nation, ladies and gentlemen, where we're talking about Donald Trump's past? Let me go ahead and play it for you. All right. This is why MAGA right now, this is why I say God's judgment is truly upon you. Because it was this moment in American history that the cult realized we've made a terrible mistake.
Sure. Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I'm lagging.
I can't believe you're asking a question.
I don't know. Let's see. Am I lagging? I'm stuck. Oh, CC. You see what happens. Maybe, let's see. I can see myself over here. Are you sure, ladies and gentlemen? Am I lagging? Everyone, am I lagging? I don't want to lag. Now I'm back. Okay. I'm so sorry. Like I said, for some strange reason, when Big Zeus gets to rocking and rolling and cooking and booking, all kind of crazy. And I call it a demonic force. MAGA does not like the way that I say what I say, because I keep it clean. I keep it real clean and it's real professional, but it hits. It hits, and they know I'm waking up that medulla oblongata, whatever you want to call it. They know I'm waking it up. I'm ringing the bell. They go, oh my gosh, he's not letting up. Is it a script? No, it's not a script. This is raw. This is raw facts, ladies and gentlemen. And so let's get back to what I was saying. You got to go back and ask yourself, what was that? And this is what I'm talking about when Donald Trump practically showed the world that he's not going to release the Epstein, the E-files, because he's hiding something.
Sure. Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems.
You hear him using the kids again?
Like a desecration, but you go ahead.
You hear him using the kids again? Oh, I'm trying to protect the kids. Don't bring up that scenario where, I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing with them kids. Y'all can go look up everything you need to know about Jeffrey E. And I got to do this. Shout out to all of the MAGA out there who have started to question, even though I don't agree with these people, because the stuff y'all do, I'm like, no, you should have known it a long time ago. But shout out to all the Trump supporters this weekend who have been riding Donald Trump's behind about why all of a sudden the change in tone, right? He sent a statement out over the weekend that ignited his base. And basically, it just seemed like the words of a guilty man. I seen the replies. I've been deep in conspiracy theory alley all weekend with y'all MAGA. Ain't nothing none of you Trump supporters could get up here and try to tell. You know what they're going to try to say right now? And this is from Alex Jones. Oh, Trump is playing 5D chess because the list was created by the Democrats, Obama, and it's a corrupted it's a corrupted list. And so that's why Trump doesn't want to release it. This is what they're doing right now because they gotta try to play defense on this. And this is indefensible stuff. But here's the thing. Is there a list? MAGA, is there a list? Is there a list, MAGA? See? Half is going to say, yeah, there is. The other half has to say no because Trump said there is no list. Right? You see what I'm saying? He's telling you, stop talking about it. I could do, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Let's just see if I can get some of this. Let's see if I can do something. Look, I decided, you know what isn't a picture worth 1,000 words, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just see what some of the stuff that's going on. Because if you go over to his own platform, True Social, even though Donald Trump is posting things about, trying to put tariffs on, talking about Joe Biden, the auto pen, his supporters, especially, they're saying, yeah, but where's that list at, champ? Where's that list at? And this is what I'm talking about, Blagga. Y'all want to be the last folks out of the cult because you want to be 10 toes down. Y'all better wake up and realize something is a brewing. A storm is a coming. And just look at this. Nothing here, folks. This is what they're saying. Here you go. More squirrels and raccoons have been arrested than anyone on the E-Files. This is what MAGA is saying to their dear leader, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not. Yeah. We need to release the list. Oh, there's no list. The list is on my desk. The list is a fake and made by Obama. You see this, Blagga? And y'all sitting out here standing behind this man. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Let's go on through. Let's look at. You could just see this, ladies and gentlemen. This is all over. This is all over Lie Central. Stop asking about the Jeffrey E. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start asking about it. He says you want to make people believe something. You got to keep saying it harder and harder. So yeah, his supporters, they've taken cues from him. All right. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You just got photos of your dear leader all over. Look at this, lady. Tariffs. I don't want to talk about it. I thought that one was funny. You could just see this. Oh, okay. Well, I can't read all of that. Well, we'll read this one. We'll read this one, ladies and gentlemen. You see it. You know what I haven't heard yet? A federal judge order Trump's DOJ to release those E-files. Ain't that something, MAGA? See, you see how God's talking to you? And listen, 382, I see you getting triggered and all of you other Trump supporters. Let me go ahead and give you a bit of a warning again. You know me, I don't want to say something, all right? But
if you're not happy here,
yeah,
then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
I'm saying this and I'm delivering it this way, and I know it's painful the way that I deliver my message to you MAGA demons, but I'm doing it because y'all are in serious trouble. Y'all have propped up somebody is clearly a liar. You know he's a liar. And then Now you got to deal with this whole E angle, this whole E file angle. And then you want to sit on TikTok with your 10 followers in there and say you care about children? Have you lost your mind? I may have been born at night, but I sure as heck wasn't born last night. This is inexcusable. I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm not even angry as much as I want to be. I'm actually disappointed. I expected better. I thought folks in 2025, you got a smartphone, you got AI, you got tools and technology that allows you to be free thinkers. But yet you chose the easy way out, which is to believe a lie. And the sad part is you wouldn't take a lie. You wouldn't take nobody in your circle lying to you. You wouldn't do that in the real life. You wouldn't let nobody lie to you and disrespect you and your family and stuff like that. But you'll let Donald Trump do it. And you're doing it for free. You're doing it for free, right? Because if you're not, then that's even worse. If you're doing it and you're getting money, then I'm like, okay, not all money is good money. But if you're doing this for free, you out here humiliating yourselves. Yeah, I get it. I understand why you're a miserable person. I understand why. But you got to do the work on yourself. And I can't do the work for you. I had to do the work on myself. All right, that's how I got to be where I'm at now. Okay, I understand it. But listen, somebody has to wake your game up, and it's me, Big Zeus. Look at what your dear leader says. Stop talking about Jeffrey E. Who are you to tell me to stop talking about whatever it is that I want to talk about? I'm an American. I got the right to talk about anything. But the fact that your dear leader is telling you to stop talking about it, newsflash, he's hiding something. You all know this. Look at this. And this is all over his own social media platform, Lie Central. This isn't the Democrats doing this. See, all this could have been avoided, MAGA, if y'all would have simply held this man accountable for all the other stuff that he's done. We wouldn't be this deep into this nasty situation you've gotten us in terms of this country right now. If y'all would have simply held this man accountable. Look at this. This is my favorite one. I'm just like Superman. And then he gets slapped by Batman. Superman does not protect P3DOs. How many ways can we explain this to you, you Trump supporters? How many ways can we explain it to you that your dear leader is clearly a liar? And the way he's doing it with this list, it's causing a lot of folks within the cult to have a true second thought about all the other things that he's been saying to them. How many of y'all remember this? This is him at the whole Butler incident. And when this incident happened last year, ladies and gentlemen, I was on the app. I've been on the app almost 4 years. So when people get out here and they say he's doing it for the money, you just don't know. If you don't know, then just say you don't know, but don't get out here and just start making stuff up. I was doing this before you was even on the app, now that I think about it. And when this moment happened, y'all all tried to say it was the Democrats and it was our rhetoric that got us to this point. And y'all didn't want to use common sense. Y'all didn't want to open up your eyes and think to yourself, perhaps this could be staged. Yeah. So I posted a video. Go back. There's a new video that's came out. I posted the video in my most recent video. The angle of this, you will see the Secret Service. They turn the podium, the flag, it lowers down, and then all of them put their fist in the air. Just like that. And then, he tells on himself like a real true criminal, because he was at the soccer thing, FIFA, yesterday, and look at how he put his hand in the air yesterday. What more evidence do y'all need? And if you can believe Joe Biden is a criminal, then this shouldn't be that difficult. This really shouldn't be that difficult to follow, MAGA. If you can believe Joe Biden is a criminal without all of this, this should be a slam dunk. You don't got evidence of Joe Biden chilling with Jeffrey E. You don't got Joe Biden doing stuff like this, but you got all of the speculation and the laptop, and that alone is enough for you to come to the conclusion that Joe Biden is corrupt. And I'll meet you there. I'll go ahead and say it. Joe Biden is corrupt. Fine. I'll give you that. But what's your problem? Why can't you admit Donald Trump is corrupt when he has 100 times more evidence than Joe Biden of all of the corruption? He literally is a walking corruption person, walking crime scene, and you can't even see it. And so what I'll do is this, and then I'll go ahead and move on because I've done enough. I've annihilated the MAGA demon this morning. You shouldn't have got me activated, but I did it anyway. What I'm going to do is this. Let me go ahead and warm up this lake of fire for all of you Trump supporters out there that are triggered right now. I want you to understand something. You're not mad at me. You're mad at yourself for allowing this guy right here to play y'all like a fiddle and have y'all out here on the internet looking like a bunch of fools. Sort of like those fools that took those binders that Pam Bondi gave them and then went out here and told everybody there was a list only for Donald Trump to say there is no list. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't got all morning to do this, but we're going to try this again. Are there any Trump supporters out there that want to come up in the box and have a conversation? I'm not with all of that calling out live stuff. I can sit here, adult to adult, and we can have a civil discussion. Seriously. But don't sit here. Well, you can do whatever you want, right? But I'm calling it like I see it. You're going to watch me. You're shadow watching me. You're in the comments. You don't want to say nothing. But then you want to host a live about Big Zeus. Do the whole muting and acting like you doing something. But nobody's seen the evidence of what you're doing. So cut the games and just go ahead and send Big Zeus a guest request. We can deal with this stuff right here. I truly do believe, because we're in the United States of America and we're all Americans, discourse is honestly the best way to deal with these type of issues. All right. And all I ask is, be respectful. I don't get up here and start yelling at folks like I'm their parents. That's not my job. But what I do expect is for you to be respectful. And I do expect for you to be honest. All right. And honesty requires you to look at the information and come to a conclusion based on your assessment of the data and the facts. I'm not here to try to convince you of stuff that I know makes sense. For instance, if you reduce funding to federal agencies like FEMA and NOAA, I understand that has a negative impact on those organizations. See, I understand that. I get that. So we don't need to debate that. And we're just going to agree to disagree. All right, W. Zeus. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up my first panelist. Okay, I'll start with Attacking. So you saw I just gave the Trump supporters a chance to come up here. They don't want to come up here. Good morning, Attacking. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And you speak the truth just like I do, Zeus.
Yeah.
Let me show you some stuff real quick here. The thing is this. We didn't say that Donald Trump caused the flood. What we said, just like when the pandemic hit, Donald Trump threw out the pandemic playbook given to him by Barack Obama. He threw it in the trash. He ignored the facts of that. He didn't want to listen to it. He ignored what was happening, and 1 million people lost their lives. He didn't cause the virus. He ignored it. So 1 million American citizens lost their life. Donald Trump has, in his second presidency now, torn apart FEMA, the National Weather Service, and NOAA. The emergency the emergency relief system that tells people things are happening. So we don't blame Trump for the flood. We blame Trump for taking away the departments that would have informed people ahead of time of something happening.
Yeah.
Which you guys don't want to listen to and abide by, saying, yeah, he possibly could have. Now, would it have saved everybody's life? No. Could it have saved just one person's life? Yes, and that's all that matters, if it saves somebody's life. Now, the thing is this. I have the audio from Kern County where Joe Biden gave them $10 million and they turned it down. They didn't want to use it.
Do you have that on you now?
I have it right on my phone.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get this entered into the record. And and if you're a Trump supporter and you're blagga, just zip it, because we gave you time to come up here and do this yourself. So we're doing your homework.
I'll have another audio too after this one here, but hold on.
Do you not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money?
But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here. We've done just fine. and we'll get by without them. But you spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil, and the devil's in the White House.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that has the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and
we do not want.
Yeah, so there's that. There's that one, Zeus. They don't want the money to help their county. Why is that?
Because it comes from Biden in their minds. They don't understand it's taxpayer money.
Exactly. And you know how we have these people in Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah. Miss Nagwood, you could send us a guest request, because if not, I'm going to ask you to just zip it.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is this. Donald Trump basically said, my video blocked. Basically what Donald Trump said, he said the January 6 attackers are being treated horribly. Look, they're being treated like criminals. And they're in our jail system where they're not surrounded by mosquitoes or alligators or getting fed rotten food. Mm-hmm. No, they're being treated properly. They have toilets, bathroom, showers, and they're getting 3 squares and a cot.
Yeah.
What are these people getting? Living out in the open with possible cottonmouth snakes, alligators, mosquitoes, and they're being fed rotten food. As the staff, from what one of the people says, they got these big roasted chickens for the staff, and you have other small little portions for the people in the facility. And by the way, they don't have criminal backgrounds. There's nobody criminal. There's no criminal background of these guys. They're not criminals. Yep. Okay, what they are is they're brown people that they picked up off the street. All right, and what you guys don't really give a darn about. Hold on, I have something else here I got to show you.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday, Zeus?
What's that?
The other day when we were talking to that guy John or whatever about Trump and FEMA and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking about Trump and what he did with FEMA in 2017, not funding North Carolina, taking money from FEMA and putting it towards the border wall. Yeah. Do you know one of our most famous Russian bears? She put you and me up on her page. And
that's sad.
You know what she did?
What did she do?
She put up that I'm basically lying, saying that the governor was given $88 million. But the thing is this.
Wow.
The thing is this. The money that she's referring to.
Yeah.
A different year. Basically 2025, 2024, 2025, a different year, where Governor Cooper literally wrote a letter to Trump saying, I need 900 million, and they got 6 million. And I even played the news clipping from the news, and Governor Cooper was talking about it. So she lied again about information. So when you say Zeus lies, and there's verifiable proof that people like this so-called fake Christian that says that she believes in God and she bows to him every night before going to bed.
She does say this stuff. Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. To me, a Christian doesn't lie each and every day about false information like Joe Biden's a P.do and ignoring the fact that Donald Trump is. Did you hear her statement the other day in regards to that?
I didn't. I mean, you may have played it in when she said something to the effect that she can sniff out a P3DO.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie because her sniffer doesn't work then because she sure can't see the one
right in front of her.
Yeah,
wanting to touch her. And by the way, touching women by men is acceptable by Christians now. Did you know that?
No, I didn't, and I want to entertain that. Nope.
You know, as God says, or whatever they say, I'm going to lay hands on you and I'm going to heal you.
Is that what they've done? They've turned around and taken something holy and made it, disgusting.
Yeah. Now they're laying hands on women because they're God.
Yeah.
You know,
and this is why I'm unapologetic when it comes to delivering the truth. Sometimes it's because you and I both have to deal with this. These folks get out here and they take things that are meant for good and they manipulate it just to get people to listen to them. It's disgusting.
And one last thing before I leave, your friend, Toilet Paper Man, is
well. We're gonna have to say this. This is. I don't even want to call him a friend because I was told a friend is someone that would die for you, and I don't think they would do that. This is just someone I happen to know, but they're wicked. Their hearts are wicked.
So the Republicans have some guy talking about Trump's convictions, and he says it's going to be overturned. He doesn't realize that Congress and the committee cannot overturn a court case. Okay, and the thing is that Trump's already he lost his first dismissal request.
Yeah.
From E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah.
The $5 million he has to pay her. Now he still has the $89 million one that he's trying to have removed under appeal.
Yeah.
He'll lose that one too. But when you guys keep on lying about our court system, and now Trump is saying just arrest anybody who's brown and might seem suspicious to be illegal.
Yeah.
And they don't have, by the way, don't you have to have a warrant to say, hey, I'm here to pick up Zeus? He has a warrant for his arrest?
Yeah.
How come they're not providing these warrants? And how come they're not telling us what criminal background these people have that they're picking up? Women and children and so-called asylum seekers doing it properly. How come you guys just do this?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, aren't you? I mean, he's now given the right for our people, the ICE agents, to pew people, Zeus.
Yeah. And this is, to me, why I say this is wickedness. And when it's all said and done, MAGA, this is a self-inflicted thing you've done to yourselves. Because there's going to be consequences for stuff like this.
Exactly. And again, by the way, waste, fraud, and abuse. But Donald Trump went to FIFA soccer tournament yesterday, another $10 million on your dime, taxpayers. And what did he do? He had to stay in the middle of the soccer team, happily raising that plaque, and Donald Trump had to be part of it. Why?
He's off. Something's wrong with him. He's trying to not look guilty. That's what I think. Right now, the pressure is on him. The cult is imploding. He's trying his best to look normal, but you just can't look at him anymore and think, is this guy really being honest?
And the booze was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, the FIFA chairman or whatever,
try
to pull him off. Say, come on, we got to go this. We got let the team celebrate. We don't need you here.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What an embarrassment to the United States of America.
He is.
Holy cow!
He is.
All right, everybody, be good. Everybody, be safe. Follow and support Zeus. He delivers you nothing but truth. And the thing is this:
you're nice at that.
If you question what he says, he'll listen to you. And provide the proof, and then he'll say, "Oh, okay, you're right, I'm wrong," and that you guys can't do it.
Bingo. He's not lying. W attacking. Now we're gonna go back to the audience, but again, just to show you guilty. This is what guilty sounds like. He had an interview with Fox this weekend, Donald Trump, and just listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Lord Trump is asking him, what do you want people to think about you when it's all said and done? And just listen to his answer and just ask yourself, doesn't this man sound guilty?
Especially this last couple of weeks has been pretty amazing.
Some people have called you the bodyguard of Western civilization.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that title?
Well, I understand what they mean. It was going bad. We were going bad. This country was going bad. A lot of people were talking to China and others about getting involved because we were a dead country. We were gone. In the minds of many, I tell you, in my mind, one of the reasons I ran, I saw what was happening very early on. When I saw people pouring across our border, I said, no, put up that little, it would have taken three weeks to put up little sections of wall that we laid out because of legal reasons, condemnation reasons, different things. And because we wanted to bring our equipment back in through the wall, because we built hundreds of miles. And I said, then why aren't they filling that in? It would have just been, that would have been complete. In fact, I added a lot more. I built a lot more than I said I was going to build.
What the heck is he talking about?
But I said, they want to have open borders. That was the first time I realized it.
Obviously, there's something wrong with Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. He can't stay on topic. He's rambling, and we all know that if Joe Biden would have done something like this, you all would have said, oh, look at their cognitive abilities. Again, MAGA, this is why I say God's judgment is truly upon you. You can't defend this stuff and seem like a normal person. You can't say this is normal behavior. You can't. The jig is up, MAGA. Anything, and this is why I say this is what guilty people look like, if you ask me. Just release the e-files, bro. Just release it. If you're not in it, release it. Why all of this stuff? How come nobody else on Fox is trying to actually talk to you? Oh, yeah, and this is not going away. Actually, you heard it on Fox, ladies and gentlemen. They said, oh, this is one of the things that happened. And this is just, to me, more proof, MAGA, that there's a problem.
All this good stuff is happening.
Laura Ingraham.
There is, and we're not gonna like everything. There's a lot that's kind of bubbling under the surface, and I know you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to ask a few questions to all of you. How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve.
Not satisfied.
I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
You hear that? See, MAGA? Judgment is here. There's no excuse anymore. There's no excuse. Judgment is here. And you can be mad at me all you want to, but I'm just the vessel of the truth, all right? Let's go back to the audience, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who we got next that is brave enough to come up here. All right, I'll bring up my good friend Diava. How are you doing? Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Diava. How are you?
Good morning, Zeus.
Hey,
This
how's
is
it
my
going?
main account. I got my main account back.
Oh, wow. Okay, good job. I don't know how you got it, but you got it. Yeah. Wow, that's so good.
I went from a permanent ban to getting it back, so I'm super happy.
Wow. Don't let them destroy your progress by, trying to demoralize you with that. All right. I know that's difficult, but I'm glad you're back. Seriously.
Thank you so much. I just had a couple things. Have you heard that Ro Khanna, the Democrat in the House, is putting forth a bill and trying to get the Republicans to put up a bill, a vote, so that for Pam Bondi to release the Epstein files?
Yeah, but please announce it, because the cult doesn't know this. And he's a Democrat, right?
He is a Democrat.
Ain't that funny?
He's a Democrat, and they're wanting to put up for a vote that Pam Bondi has to relieve the entirety of the Epstein records, obviously other than the victims' names.
Yeah.
Which I think is genius, because it's going to force them to either vote yes to release the Epstein files, or there's going to be recorded vote on how many of the Republicans vote no.
Yeah. Cut it out, alter ego. He's from California. Knock it off. Go for it. Yes, you're right. And it's going. And so, what do you think is the reason because they say Republicans, they don't want to release it? Why do you think that is?
I think because they know that Trump is all over it. They know that probably other people that are in government are on it, or other people that that knows. And I think that they just. I think how that saying, the dog caught the car?
Yeah.
Because Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have been on their little podcast bros screaming about the Epstein files for years and years and years and years. So either there was never a list and they were lying to them prior to the election to get them to vote for Trump, or they're lying now.
Which
so
is
either
sick.
way, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But okay, so there's that thing, and because I was into this whole weekend. You're spot on. What about Trump's statement when he came out and said pretty much there's no list, and the one that does exist is because Obama and Brennan and Clapper and all of these James Comey characters wrote that. Isn't that interesting?
That was a confession. Because his whole tweet, that rambling, nonsensical, 9-paragraph run-on sentence tweet, was nothing but a panic tweet. It just screamed, "I'm guilty."
Yeah.
There's no other way to see it. Because he's like the crooked Brennan, Comey, Hillary, crooked Hillary, and Biden administration. I mean, this dude is spiraling.
There's no other way around it, is there?
He knows he's caught. He knows he's caught. And they're not dropping it. He's telling them, hey, let's just move on. Let's just move on. And Trumpers are like, no. He's like, come on, guys. What do we have to keep talking about this for? Just let it go. Let it go. Nope. They're not doing it.
Nope.
And he's caught. He's caught dead to right, and there's nothing he can do because they are not letting it go.
Now, so think about this pivotal moment we're in, because this to me shows that there's consequences when you lie the way that Donald Trump has lied. He lies. He's just been doing terrible things behind the scenes, and then it's all coming to the light. What do you think about the fact that there are real dedicated Trump supporters who are now speaking up and saying, for him to say, stop talking about it, it's not sitting well with them? What is that? What do you have to say about that?
No, because and they should, because a lot of them voted for him for that reason. They were promised transparency with this administration. They were promised unredacted files to be released. I mean, obviously not with the victims' names, but as unredacted as they could.
Yeah.
They were promised, if you vote for Trump, you're going to get the Epstein files. Like, it was hammered over and over, and even by Trump himself. So you have Dan Bongino and you have Kash Patel, who have been telling these people, ginning these people up for years and years and years and years and years about the demonic Democrats that are covering up for the P3DOs in DC and Hollywood, and painting it that the Democrats were the one covering it up. And now that he won, and there's a lot of people, because they're always like, save the children, and so it's all about the children. So
they always say that.
Really important. This is really important to a lot of these Trump voters. And what was the whole purpose of that, handing out those phase 1 binders to the right-wing influencers if there was never going to be a part 2 or a phase 2?
To get them to play along. So to me, it calls out the fact that perhaps the people that are working right now were brought in to cover for Trump. This is how it's looking to me, right? And this is just, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. These folks that came in, they were brought in to cover up this conspiracy or whatever it is. And they are trying their hardest. But what we've learned is the video that was released, there's a minute missing, and then it was edited, right? It was like 4 videos that have been edited with Adobe Premiere or whatever, and the minute is missing. We found that out, and we're finding out that Pam said there is a list. Trump is saying there isn't a list, but if there is, it's something the Democrats put together. And what we're not getting is any clarity on why this list can't be released. And the only defense they have, Diava, is how come Joe Biden didn't release it?
Correct. And I tried to tell, I argued this ad nauseum yesterday with several Trump supporters. But I told them, I said, well, first of all, Ghislaine Maxwell, her case was open during Biden's administration. The Department of Justice could not release this type of information because she had an open case. And the Department of Justice, prior to the cult, prior to Donald Trump taking over, the Department of Justice is not the attorney for the president. They're a separate entity. And the president doesn't tell them when to release things or what to release. They're independent of the president. And Joe Biden made sure that his distinction was very clear, that he was not going to tell the Department of Justice what to do. Yeah. And so while I'm less than thrilled with Merrick Garland, I think he was the worst pick for attorney general because we wouldn't have Trump sitting there today. I think if it had been anybody else.
Facts. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, he couldn't release it because she had an open case. There was an open investigation and an open court case. It was being litigated in real time during Biden's administration. And plus, Joe Biden probably didn't know what was in it. Because number one, he's not part of the Department of Justice. He's not privy to what the Department of Justice has entirely because he purposely kept himself separate, which is what all other presidents have done as well.
Wow.
Other than Trump.
Wow.
So, and then after that, if you also remember, they had a January 6th case and open against Trump during that time. They had a documents case in Florida open against Trump, which is about national security and confidential documents.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot all about this, but there's just so much crime. It's which crime do you want to go after, right? That's kind of where we were with this guy.
Exactly. And that's exactly kind of like, and then I guess Merrick Garland just didn't, or there was nothing to release.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland, maybe there really is no list. And Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and all these right-wingers have just been lying to these people all these years. And there was no list to release, so there was nothing for Merrick Garland to release.
I mean, and so I love that you're exploring, no matter what angle, Donald Trump is he's at the center of this.
Correct.
He's the one that ginned up all of this attention on the issue. He's the one that built up all of the desire for it. So at the end of the day, this all starts and ends with Donald Trump. I mean, and we just know this. Weren't him and Jeff friends? They were friends, right?
Yes, and the guy who the guy who interviewed Trump for his book or whatever, Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
If you go watch his interview, he said they were joined at the hip. For years and years, they did everything together. So I don't believe for one second, especially with the comments he's made about his daughter walking in on girls dressing in their dressing room. And then you got the Access Hollywood tape where he said he could just walk up to women and just grab them by the kitty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all been out there.
Yep.
About how disgusting he is. And you've got the Katie Johnson case, Johnson v. Epstein and Trump. If you go look at that case, that is vile.
Yep.
This is not new to those of us that do any type of research. But unfortunately, MAGA doesn't read and they don't do research at
Bingo. All. Well, for the most part, they don't. But there has been some folks who are now saying, oh, this just, maybe I need to go back and start reading. And I call MAGA headline hoochies. All they do is read a headline, and they don't ever read anything past the headline, and they think they got the whole story based on the headline and don't do a modicum of research past the headline. Facts. W. Diablo, ladies and gentlemen. She's telling the truth. Wow.
If I could just say one more thing, and this
Absolutely.
is about Alligator Alcatraz, if I could, because I'm in Florida.
Okay.
And we have flood warnings all across the state today, tomorrow, and Wednesday because there's a system. They don't know if it's going to develop into a tropical storm because, I don't know, maybe if we had the National Weather Service to help us out down here, we might actually know. But we are under type like flood warnings and tropical storm warnings for the next 3 days. And it always hits the Everglades. The Everglades is already a swamp. So if it gets wet, I mean, not wet, it's wet, it's water. But I mean, if it floods or if there's a heavy rain, those people are in trouble.
Yeah. I completely agree. And this is why I say it's disgusting, honestly, what they're doing to these folks, especially when you don't even have the actual evidence to whatever crime that they've been charged with or whatever they're accusing them of. If it's just simply, oh, I was in the country illegally, I don't think they should be subjected to that type of treatment at all.
No. And I've gotten the argument on my lives. People are like, well, you can't call them concentration camps because they're not exterminating people. And I'm like, yet?
Yeah. We don't know.
If a hurricane blows through and those tents go flying over, where do the people go? They're going to go with the tents into the water.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like it's a summer camp where, people are having fun. We know that much, right? So it's on one side or the other, if you ask me, and it's closer to what you just said, if you ask me, because what they're doing to these humans is to me, it's indefensible. They haven't been tried. They haven't been tried. Mm-hmm. They haven't been convicted of anything, right? They're just housing them there, from what I understand. Is
That's
that correct?
And they're housing them so simply because their skin is brown. Or the language they speak.
Yeah.
I know that a federal judge just ruled the other day that they can no longer pick people up based on the color of their skin or the language they speak.
Inhumane, yes.
But since when has this administration listened to anybody? I mean, they're just doing whatever they want anyway.
Yeah. And this is why it's important that folks like you and I, as hard as it is, and I know you're a very busy person, but I appreciate it. You get out here and you call this stuff out. It's wrong. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. Case closed.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's it. These
Yep.
people, I mean, in Trump's first administration, he did a bill. The only good thing I gave him credit for in his first administration was a bill against animal abuse. Animal abuse. Just let that marinate. In his first term, he signed into law about animal abuse. And in the second term, he's now abusing human beings. Animals have more protection in this country than human beings that have brown skin.
Wow. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Well, you're spot on. W. Diava, ladies and gentlemen, she's telling the truth. All right, then.
It's the inhumanity. It's the inhumanity that gets me. If you ever come across my live, because you know I go live 7 days a week. If you ever come across my live and I'm crying, it's probably because someone has been so inhumane, because it literally and physically hurts my chest. Probably because I'm an empath, so I just literally feel it.
Yeah.
But when they are just so inhumane and they're just like, who cares? And, they're just so grotesquely inhumane, all while saying they're Christians at the same time.
I can't do it.
It physically hurts my heart, and it's because the inhumanity of these people is something that's so unconscionable to me that I can't wrap my eyes around my head around it, and it hurts my heart.
It hurts my heart too. And I would also probably go as far as to say, but you don't have a problem with getting people in the country who are bad actors out of the country if they came in illegally. You don't have a problem with that at all, right?
No, I don't think any Democrat or anybody in this country does.
Nope.
But what people also don't understand is that we already do that. Because if you commit a crime in this country, once you serve your time, you are then deported.
Yeah.
We've already been doing that. That's nothing new.
Yeah. Yeah, Diava's not lying, ladies and gentlemen. She's telling the truth. And so when they try to say, and then the other thing is the open border lie. They try to say Biden let in 20 million people. So what Trump is doing, they're justifying what Trump is doing because he has to clean up Biden's mess. What are your thoughts about that? I know we kind of been going for a minute, but I just wanted to actually probe you on that one. What do you think about that?
Well, that's just simply not true because number one, there's only 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States total over all the years we've been in a country. So Biden didn't let anyone in because the border policy never changed since Reagan. Bingo. So he would have had to institute a policy or change the immigration laws in order for you to be able to blame Biden.
Yeah.
They're just simply lying. And Joe Biden deported more people than Donald Trump has on a monthly basis.
You can go look at the numbers. I've looked into it. Yeah.
Correct.
Trump isn't even getting to that level. But what Trump is doing that Biden didn't do is he's being more radical and more corrupt about every person he is getting. I've never seen anything like this. And he's definitely targeting blue states a lot more to try to intimidate and scare people, so and this is to me why I say this is un-American. This is not something that I'm proud of to say is going on in our country. And this is why we got to stand up to this evil and demonic force that is giving this country a bad reputation. Seriously. All right.
At least Biden did it humanely. He wasn't violating their constitutional rights. He wasn't snatching people off the streets, kidnapping them, throwing them into unmarked vehicles by masked men. Our country right now, and I hate to say this, and I never thought I'd say this in my lifetime, but right now, Donald Trump has made us a state terrorist country. I mean,
I feel the same way.
Against coming here.
Tourism is down, right? Airline industries, they're doing layoffs. All of this is happening. And he's telling, gross wages are up. And so this is a good thing. America is hot. No, America is hot. If you want to say hot, the only reason we're hot is because the nation is on its decline. And a lot of these Trump supporters are going straight to hell. That's the only thing I could think of.
That's
because
the only place they're going.
yeah, business isn't really doing that great. And if you're talking about wages going up, how does that even matter when inflation is going through the roof?
Correct. And I'm in the Orlando, Florida area. Our whole area is tourism. I mean,
Yeah. You've seen a
that's
decline?
oh, absolutely.
That
People are
part.
going up. People are choosing to go other states. They don't want to spend their money here. They don't want to, and I don't blame them. I tell people, don't come here.
Yeah.
Don't come here.
Why would I want to go
Don't
to
give our state. Don't give our state a dime.
and so you can use it to fund alligator Alcatraz? I wouldn't do that.
Right, and he's using our tax dollars because they initially took FEMA money, but then they got challenged in court because of environmental issues. So they took the FEMA money out of it, and the state is paying for. So it's a state facility, although they're saying it's a federal facility. He's breaking all kinds of laws here in Florida. He's giving contracts. There are no bid contracts. He's just giving them to his friends.
Wow.
And the people that he's given these contracts to directly donated to him prior to him giving them these contracts.
Favor
so he's
for
breaking the
favor.
law left and right down here too.
Yeah.
So they're all corrupt. If
Yeah.
you want to look for waste, fraud, and abuse, it's y'all's side.
Bingo.
It's you. It's DeSantis. It's these red state governors. It's Greg Abbott.
Yeah. I mean, if you were lying, I would say you're lying. We can't do that, but you're totally right. I can't sit back and sit there and go, okay, so you're going to allow the money. You took the money from FEMA and you're doing harmful things to immigrants with it, and you don't think there's going to be any kind of impact downstream. It doesn't add up. So good. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. And this is why I say, they go, well, what can we do? Well, you can tell Donald Trump to give the money back to FEMA. Yeah, you could tell Kristi Noem to get rid of that little threshold of $100,000 that she has, right? So that folks can be very proactive.
Any disaster is going to be more than $100,000. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Stop putting a chokehold on the red states when it comes to government assistance. All right, when it comes to these natural disasters, that's what you can do. Don't just sit back there and say, "Oh, we can't do nothing. It was unpredictable." No. A lot of things are predictable. It just turns out that your mind has been manipulated into believing that whatever Donald Trump says is true. All right, Diablo.
I mean, they found $450 million in 8 days to set up this alligator Alcatraz. So when they want to find money, when they want to do something like this, but they could have done this to house homeless people with temporary housing. Yeah. They could have done it in different areas to help the homelessness issue here in Florida. So if the government wants to do something, they can find the money real quick and real easy and get it constructed in no time flat.
Yep.
So for them to say, oh, we don't have the money for that, we don't have this for that. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. It's what you prioritize, and you obviously prioritize terrorizing people, terrorizing brown people and immigrants, than caring about your own U.S. citizens that are homeless.
Amen. No lies detected. All right, Diablo. Well, listen, it was a pleasure checking in with you this morning. All right. And
thanks.
we're gonna, rock and roll and keep on trying to hear from those who are a little more braver than you and I to get up here and explain themselves. All right, but let's see what we can do, ladies and gentlemen. You're going live today. What time?
I go live 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. I go 7 days a week, 4 to 7 Eastern.
There you go. All right. Well, let's give Diava, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. No lies detected. All right. We'll see you next time. All right, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Zeus.
You're totally welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. All right. Let's see. Do we have any Trump supporters out there? Oh, I get to check in with my associate, my friend Admir. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Zeus. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. What brings you to the kingdom this morning?
And I'm gonna try to be as much. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Listen,
it's a free country.
Yeah, nothing else matters. Immigration doesn't matter. Tariffs don't matter. Nothing else matters what happens from this day on. I want the list to be released. Everybody should be doing the same thing. We want the list. If you're not on it, release everything. Nothing matters. Nothing else matters.
I got to give him a round of applause. So you're not falling for all these trade email or these trade letters he's posting and all of the numbers of people he's capturing and detaining. You're not falling for that right now.
None of that matters. None of that matters. And you know what's really funny, Zeus, is
What's that?
Why would you now come out and go after Brennan and Comey? I think it's a distraction.
Oh.
To me, it's a distraction.
Oh. You don't say. I mean,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. And are you noticing too that within the cult, and I say it's a cult because that's how I brand it, but within the group of people who supported Donald Trump, they're now starting to question this man. Are you noticing this happening too?
Listen, they asked me not to put their names out, but I can tell you that two of the top right-leaning creators are now turning on Trump. This is the red line. This is the red line. I mean, you're going to sit here and say you care about the children, you love the children. Well, this is one of those things that we should all come together. Doesn't matter if you're right, left. Doesn't matter who you are. We want the same thing.
Yeah. And as much as I want to be like that's a bad thing and whatever, I have to agree with what Admir is saying because I've been actively monitoring the cult all weekend, and I'm going to keep monitoring them. There's a lot of people who've poured so much into supporting Donald Trump, and wouldn't you say it was his reaction to the reporter last weekend that kind of sent chills down the spines of a lot of Trump's supporters?
I think that was kind of the line where everybody's like, wait a minute, what do you mean don't talk about it? All along you've spoken about it, now you're telling us not to talk about it? I mean, what is really going on? Either you're incompetent or you're covering for somebody. So either one, you got to get it handled. If you're not going to release the list, step down, move on.
Yeah. Would it be acceptable for you if he doesn't release it?
No, absolutely. He needs to release, so he needs to go. There's no.
What about?
No
how about this? What about if they fire Pam Bondi? Would that be acceptable?
Listen, Zeus, I don't think it takes 2 and 2 to figure out that Pam Bondi is going to be gone. Here comes Matt Gaetz because you don't need to confirm him. And that's been all along. He wanted Matt Gaetz all along.
Oh.
You don't need to confirm Matt Gaetz because you can put him as an interim.
But Matt Gaetz has a checkered past that involves doing things to harm children as well, right?
Bingo. So why is it? So why
if he brings Gaetz in, he might as well just say, "Hey, I'm on the list and I'm guilty." Well, I mean, he's already practically said it. But if he does that, and the sad thing about this is, I don't think he really has a choice because I don't think anybody that's worth their weight would work for Trump at this moment. I don't think anybody that's right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you watch the pattern of the FBI director, Kash Patel, in 2023, he had a podcast and they asked him, who do you think has the black book? He straight out says, the FBI director. Where is it? It's sitting on the FBI's director desk. They need to release it. Well, move forward to 2025. He is the FBI director. Why aren't you releasing it? Why aren't you releasing it? You say there is no list. Okay, well, let's go round down to it. Exhibit 52 of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial specifically talks about the black book. FBI tried to suppress by court not to release the black book. So if it doesn't exist, then why is Maxwell in jail? I mean, so what, is she free? I mean, did she not commit any of the crimes?
I have no answers. And you know what I'll say is the line of questioning that you're going down, it has now within the group, within the group of Trump supporters, a lot of them are now starting to question all the stuff that Trump has been telling them.
Listen, but it might be a little conspiracy theory, but the problem that they're going to have if they come out and say, you know what, President, you have lied to us about this, then they're going to have to come out and start questioning what else has he lied. And they're going to try to cover it up the way through.
This is honestly, I promise you, I read so many comments on X and his platform Live Central over the weekend that I've actually started to question things that because I've always pushed back on just everything Trump says. He's a known liar as far as I'm concerned. And I lay into him, you know me. And I just don't think about, but when you think about it from the angle that a lot of people went to his rallies, they've lived this stuff with this man. Their perspective is way, way different than what I'm in, you know? And when they're questioning things and I'm looking at it like, you know, what happened at Butler, I had to watch the video yesterday. Some new video popped up in the angle and I'm going, well, why did they just turn the podium and then the flag comes down and everybody puts their hands up and then the photo gets taken and you can see the cameras right there. And it's like, all right, champ. Like, all right, champ. Like, listen.
That kind of makes you question it. And, you know, we haven't heard nothing about that. In fact, only 6 Secret Service agents have put on paid suspension. Not suspension, but paid suspension, right? Why would you come out if you're saying they did a horrible job at first, but now you're going to come out and say they had a bad day? Secret Service can't have a bad day. They have a bad day, your life is gone.
Boom. He's right. I mean, I 100% agree with that. I don't buy that. And again, why is there always an excuse for everything with this guy? Why is there always an excuse? Nothing can't just be it's this.
Yeah, I think
you know what?
Time.
Yeah,
I think it's time for the Republicans. See, well, so let me back up. The Republicans are now against Trump. It's the MAGA that is still defending. If you look at all of the Republicans across this TikTok, they are against him because of this.
Wow.
This is the line. You can mess with us on the tariffs. You can mess with us. That's fine. We'll let it slide. But once you start coming after the children, it's done and over with.
Bingo. I mean,
I'm just
and again. As a person that has been monitoring this, I say to myself, like, the signs were all there, right? We've talked about his criminal records. We've talked about the lawsuits. And so it's not like, for us, this is a surprise, but I must acknowledge that this line that has now been created, this is different because everything is because of what Trump has said and done, whether it's, you know, his statement saying that there is a list and that he would release it during the campaign, to his, you know, Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. Those are all his picks, right? And then you see all the evidence of him hanging out with Jeffrey E. And then him telling the reporter, are we still talking about it? And then telling his supporters to stop talking about it. This is a situation that he has created all by himself, and it really is doing a number in terms of the support for his base. And so, like I said, they're questioning the Butler incident. I've also seen them now questioning the results of the election. You know, and so now I'm watching Trump supporters literally questioning all of the lies. And so to this point, Admir, what if he does release the files? Will that then rebuild the relationship with his base, or do you think it's kind of a done deal?
I think it's too late because if you release the list, so did you lie to us when you said there is no list? So which one is it? Was there a list, or is there a list, or I mean, which lie did you tell us? Which lie do we go? You know what I mean? Which lie do we go? Do we believe Pam Bondi and you when you say there is no list? Do we believe you when you say, are we still talking about this guy? Why are we still talking about this guy? All of a sudden now there is? Or do we believe when you said that Obama and the Democrats have created this so-called list? So which lie do we believe? I'm just asking so I can kind of try to pinpoint it. I don't know what else to...
I would hate to be in that position, and that's why I think a lot of the people who thought the way who go down that line of thinking like you, they just said we're done with him. They said I cannot in good faith continue to support this man, because in their eyes, not only is he a liar, but now he's somebody that harms children, and he just everything he's doing now seems guilty. He just looks like he's guilty. Everything he says.
I mean, if you look at. If you look when he came out, now he said it twice, that there was 300,000 children that went missing under Biden, right? That's
I heard about this. Yeah.
But if you look at the Inspector General's report, they say that from 2019, 2020, and the beginning of 2021, there was more children that went missing than from 21, 22, 23. Not only that, but they also say in there, 40% of those children, the so-called that are missing, are the ones who they can't get in touch with, either because they changed addresses, phone numbers, they moved away, on all that. So which one, I mean, it's just, once you...
Uh-oh. You got a phone call?
Once you come... No, you're good. Once you come after the children, once you start messing with the children, it's across the board. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. There is a line, and now you see that Trump is the only man in history to bring Republicans, Democrats in unison to go after him.
To go after him.
Yeah,
I got to give you a round of applause because he's right. And on this particular issue, on this particular issue, I must agree.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page about releasing this, and the concern or the suspicions that, Well,
I mean, regardless,
brother.
and I mean, the only ones that are defending them, Zeus, if you pay attention, it's still MAGA, but it's only certain MAGAs that you and I know, right? It's only still certain ones, and they'll defend it, and that's why I call them a cult. There's nothing else. Yeah, I mean, and the ones that I pay attention to that were hardcore MAGA supporters, are now turning, and they're saying, wait a second, you can mess with us, everything, but you come for our children, we're gonna turn on you.
Fair
End
enough.
of story.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, you know what? I definitely appreciate you at least having the courage to speak the way you speak against the cult. All right. But we're going to continue to monitor this, and hopefully a lot of the Trump supporters out there, they've realized this is the point that they could actually say, you know what, it's time to leave the cult before it's really, really, really too late. Because I'm afraid, honestly, right now, I think he is so desperate, he will do anything to try to distract us.
Yeah, and he's going to do it, and that's what he's good at. And I think if we just pressure from both sides, something's gonna give.
Fair enough. All right. Well, listen. Thank you, Admir. All right. Let's keep.
Yeah, man. You stay safe.
All right, you two, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Admir a round of applause. I mean, when you come into the box on that type of time, Big Zeus, you know, it is what it is. This is what we need more of, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. You need to see these people holding their dear leader accountable, and in some cases, honestly, escaping the cult. And this is why I say the work that we're doing out here, it does matter. And actually, you all deserve a round of applause, all of you. Because remember, we've all been doing this together, all right? One show at a time, one live at a time, whether it's here, there, anywhere. And we've never let it go. We're like, no, America is better than this. We can truly, at some point, live up to the promises that this country has made to all the wonderful people out here. And unfortunately, we're in a situation now where we're dealing with this. And so, we're going to keep telling the truth and shaming the devil. W. Zeus. W. Zeus. Are there any Trump supporters out there real quickly? And I'm asking, are there any Trump supporters? Because I don't like when I'm done with my show, and I play my music at the end of the show. This is when all of them start piping up, trying to talk and say they got something to say to me. No, you don't. Did you see our surplus first time in over a decade? Conservative D, please stop lying in my comment section. No one believes anything you're saying. And the fact of the matter is, you're only saying that because we're showing you who your dear leader is, a disgusting human being, honestly. So put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up here, and we'll get to the bottom of whatever the lies are. All right, let me see. Let me give them a few seconds, because either towards the end of the show they'll pipe up and they want to act up, or they'll turn around and then they'll go, I'm going to go host a live about Big Zeus and bring all the people in there. I want all the smoke. No, you don't want the smoke. If you want the smoke, you come right here. W. Zeus. Trump, big, beautiful bill makes America strong. British comedy, knock it off. You don't really believe that. You do not really believe that. All right. So let's move it along. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good morning, Nutty.
Good morning, Mr. Zeus. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Just knocking out a few of the issues that are going on in the world of politics. How about you? You had a good weekend?
Yes, sir, I did. But let me just get straight into the point. because I know you got a panel full of people that want to get up and
Yeah,
talk
there's
to
a
you.
lot. Yeah, there's people want to talk.
So listen to me. I agree and I appreciate hearing everything that Admir just stated. However, Admir, you do not get a pass because you voted for Donald Trump. Here's why you don't get a pass from me, Admir, because my question to you is, why is it that this list was your breaking point? It wasn't the fact that he's doing crimes against humanity. It wasn't the fact that he's a P3DO that is a adjudicated S-air. It wasn't the fact that he had 34 felony convictions, not accusations, but convictions. It wasn't the fact that he said he can grab women by the meow meow. It wasn't the fact that he is a moral inept piece of crap. That wasn't your line. But this list is your line? No, again, Admir, I appreciate what you're saying. I absolutely do appreciate it because that shows growth.
Yeah.
But it's disgusting to me that this was your line.
But Nutty, it's a lot of people. I'm not putting it on
buts.
Admir, but I want to ask you this question because you're going to be nutty, and I don't mind that because I don't want you to change who you are. But isn't it interesting? It's not just Admir, but it's hundreds of thousands of folks like that. What do you say to that, right? Because I call it a spirit. Then there's a spirit out here that does that, right?
But it's not hundreds of thousands of folks that are on your profile, that are on this panel speaking out against it. It's Admir that I'm spitting my vitriol to right now because he just got up here.
Got it.
I want to make myself clear. Can I make myself clear, Zeus?
It's your go for it, as long as you don't say nothing wild.
I have respect the fact that Admir has seen the light.
Yeah.
I respect that wholeheartedly. But the reason why you're getting this tone is because all the previous things that I just mentioned are far worse in my head, are far worse than a damn list. They're far worse.
Yep.
And that wasn't your line to say I cannot support or vote for this egotistical, narcissistic piece of crap. It wasn't enough. And now look at the hellscape that our country is in because that wasn't enough for you. That's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I cannot give you a pass because it's a stupid list. A list. Our country is on fire right now. And this was your moment. This was your moment to say, I can't support this man? A damn list? The devil is a lie.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Because
Lord.
guess what, Zeus?
What's that?
That list isn't kicking millions of Americans off of Medicaid and Medicare. That list isn't putting people in concentration camps. That list isn't taking food out of people's mouths. That list is not raising taxes on the low and middle class and giving the 1% all the tax break. That list isn't doing that, Zeus.
Facts.
This man is doing that. This man, this egotistical, narcissistic piece of cow dung, don't even know what was in the bill that he signed. Talking about don't touch Medicare or Medicaid. Well, you piece of dung, you've already signed it. And guess what? They touched it. They didn't touch it, they gutted it. Don't tell me this was your moral moment. I'm angry, I'm pissed. And you will not get a pass from me, even though I appreciate that you've seen the light. But it's too late. It's too late. You have repentance that you need to make to the people of the United States of America because your single solitary vote helped put this narcissistic demon back into the White House.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I truly, absolutely do like Admir. I want to make that known. I really do like him because he's one of those people that former President Obama, that former President Obama said that we have to extend grace to bring them to the table. I agree with that statement. However, you need to get a piece of my wrath because your vote has consequences. Admir, I think you're a great guy, but your vote has consequences. And just because I think you're an okay guy doesn't mean you're immune from the wrath of Nutty. You voted for this mess. This is what you voted for. But don't tell me a damn list is what made you say, I see the light. The devil is alive. And his name is
Hey, W Nutty. So this has been difficult for me too. What do you say to all of the folks out there that this has been their line, but everything else that because you've done it with Admir, but in general, what do you say to these folks who are now starting to come out of the cold? They're questioning not just this; they're questioning the Butler incident. They're questioning the results of the election. They say what happened with Trump winning all of the swing states. That was a 1 in octillion chance of that happening, right? And I say, wow. So they're now starting to question all of the lies. What do you say to them, Nutty? Because to be honest with you, they are listening right now. They don't want to admit it, but they're listening.
I say to y'all need to go to your primary care physician and ask your primary care physician to give you a referral so you can get an MRI, because we need to check your brain. We need to check your brain because, again, I would love to believe that those of us who voted on the right side of history, that we understood the assignment.
Yeah.
We understood the dangerous position we'd be in had we put Donald Trump back in the White House. And so we voted on the right side of history.
Yeah.
The fact that I just got onto Admir about that nothing else was your line except this list, y'all need to have your brains checked.
Bingo.
Because I seriously think that there's something wrong upstairs.
Yeah.
What has he done? What has Donald Trump done to put you under this spell that whatever he says is the gospel? It's the gospel according to Trump. I don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. Because we didn't have to be where we are today in this nation. You want to talk about Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. You want to talk about, oh, she wasn't this, she wasn't that, she's blah, 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 blah. But she may have been all of those things that you say.
Yeah.
But the one thing is for sure, if she were sitting behind the Resolute desk, we wouldn't be having kidnappings going on in the streets of the United States of America. If she was sitting behind the Resolute desk, we wouldn't have millions of people losing their health insurance, millions of people losing food, millions of people going even broker because they got to pay more in taxes.
Amen.
We wouldn't be seeing this stuff.
Amen. No, we would not.
It was your misogyny.
I see you, Admir.
Racism.
I see you. Yeah.
It was your misogyny and racism that you could not bring yourself to vote for this beautiful, highly educated black woman.
Amen. 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 And he's talking about Vice President Kamala Harris. He's telling the truth.
Tell you this. If Kamala Harris had been a white man, we wouldn't be in this position because that white man would have been elected.
Amen. Amen. W Nutty. Now, Nutty, Admir wants to come up, and I'm going
absolutely.
And this just shows.
I absolutely do like Admir.
Yeah,
I do like him.
Yeah, but this shows that we have different gears we can hit on this show. We're not one dimensional here. Good morning, welcome, Admir, welcome back. So Nutty summoned you in a way, I guess, huh?
Well, I got a text saying, "Hey, Nutty's mentioned your name," so I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
So I heard part of that.
I hope you heard. I hope you heard what I said, Admir.
I didn't hear the whole thing, but I heard a little bit of it. So
we
let me
respect
give you my,
each other. We respect each other here, ladies and gentlemen, even though we come from all walks of life.
Yeah. So, Nutty, and I've known you for a little while. If you pay attention, January 21st is when I turned on Trump. And if you pay attention, all that, I've been very consistent. So when I say nothing
And
else
why on
matters,
January 21st, if you don't mind?
yeah, sure. Because if I'm gonna be for back the blue and support the police, then I can't support somebody who pardons somebody who abused the police. It's simple
But
as that.
Admir, before you voted for him, he told you this is what he was going to do. He
He said
made
he
that
was gonna.
clear.
Yeah, he said he was gonna pardon.
the
Not all.
January 6 people. No, he said that he was going to pardon them. He absolutely said it. That this is what I'm talking about. That you guys were so deep in the code, you heard what you wanted to hear. But he absolutely said that he was going to pardon J6.
And you could be right, and that's why January 21st, I have been very consistent, and I've been going and holding him accountable. Hence, why I'm the most hated former conservative on this TikTok is because I've started asking questions, and when you start asking questions, that's when you realize things. And I'm okay. Listen, I'm not holding nothing against you, and if I can rebut it, I can't rebut what you said. There's nothing I can rebut. What am I supposed to sit here and rebut and all that because you're saying the facts? Now I either can try to come up here and make excuses, or I can suck it up and try to do what I'm doing. So there's only two things. You know what I mean?
I want to say this. I'm gonna give you a ton of credit. I'm still not absolving you from your vote, but I'm gonna give you a ton of credit because you're correct. This is what you need to do. You need to sit in that uncomfortable chair because you put yourself there, right? You put yourself in that uncomfortable chair. Now, the fact that you can get up here and say, you know what, you're right. I can't defend that, but this is what I'm going to do. I respect that wholeheartedly, but I had never given you my vitriol, and so you got it today.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been very uncomfortable for the past 6 months. Very uncomfortable because, of course, my stance on the whole thing. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
We've dealt with a lot of folks who've done similar things. And so I'm a person where I say, actions, they do speak louder than words. But I'm at a point with it where I go, I don't have time really, Admir, to get on any content creators. I think the larger issue at this point is that we have a deranged, incompetent, evil person running this country. And so as much as I want to give you 24 hours, honestly, but I can't even give you that because I'd rather give all 24 hours to calling out Donald Trump and his lies. All right. And so that's what I encourage all of us to do. I do hope, honestly, Admir, you're going to be way more consistent. Right. But it's not going to be an easy sell because a lot of people are going to say, oh, how many times did he vote for Trump? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Yeah. No forgiveness. There's going to be that group of people out here. And you're going to have to live with that. I mean, there's nothing you could probably say to those people. But I would just encourage you to keep sticking to whatever it is you're on right now and don't do it again. Seriously.
Before you kick me off the box here, I just want to ask Admir, I'm just curious who sent you that text and if they're MAGA too. But also,
they're MAGA.
Here's your walking away. Here's your walking away order. What you need to do, moving from here henceforth and forever, you need to be speaking on the importance of getting people out to vote in these midterms to try to help rectify what you helped cause. You have to be preaching on a consistent daily basis. Forget about J6 because that's over and done with. Now we can only move forward. You need to be out here preaching in these streets about the importance of getting out to vote and voting everybody out because all 435 seats are up for re-election come this midterm. We need to be out there. Yeah. You need to be out there screaming to the top of your lungs about voting everybody out who is not for the cause of the people of the United States of America. And notice I said everyone. I don't care if you have a D or an R next to your name, because if you got a D next to your name and you're taking money from APAC, your ass needs to go too.
Oh,
damn.
Nutty. This is why I say he's nutty, because he lives up to his name very well. Okay, so you have your marching orders, huh, Admir? Let me see.
Well, My bad.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's a couple of folks that said they had questions for you, Admir, while we're at this moment. And
Uh-oh.
again,
Uh-oh.
well, again, I run a respectful platform, unlike what these other people do. And these people, they get up here, they say what's on their mind, and hopefully, it helps others who might be thinking something similar, make progress. But good morning, Kabir. Good morning, Val. How are you both doing?
Good morning, Zeus. I'm fine. I'm
All
fine.
right, all right. Well,
Good
welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just have a question for Mr. Admir. Admir, my question is this: let's kick aside J6. Let's just throw that on the back burner. All right. So now you knew who Trump. Trump in his first term, he made that little speech about the snake and the mouse or something, and he carries him across the street and he says, "But you knew what I was when I picked you up." You knew who this guy was after his first term.
I didn't.
You
I
knew?
didn't get into politics till 2022, ma'am.
All right, so then let's look at this. Did you ever watch the news between 2022 and 2024? Did you ever watch any type of news?
Of course.
Read any type of... Okay, so you knew about the documents.
Yes.
You knew about these cases. You knew about
Correct.
the essaying. You knew about
Correct.
his fraud. You knew about all of these things, which is bad character, and you voted for this guy. Right?
Correct.
So I can't buy what you're selling. Number one. And number two, Nutty made a good point. He said to get out and vote. But if you go and vote Republicans, the same people who's carrying Trump's water, you might as well just sit at home because they're part of the problem. They are part of the problem. Matter of fact, most of them are the problem. Them, because they're so afraid of his base that if Trump tells them to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, they'll jump and say, "Do you want me to carry a 20-pound weight with me when I jump?" So I wonder about your ability to think, to analyze, and your judgment. I mean, you knew this guy spreaded nothing but conspiracy theories, from Obama to Hillary Clinton to he's the king of conspiracies. And then he's the one who kept pushing the Epstein or the E-files, and he's on the E-files.
It's mind blowing.
It's just mind blowing. So
and I
don't mean to
appreciate
jump
you.
on you,
No,
but
you're
I'm
good.
just wondering.
Yeah, no, you're good. And I don't want this to come out the wrong way, and this is all with all due respect. I'm not up here. Yeah, I'm not up here to somehow to get people to say, "Oh my God, Admir is changing. We're going to be on this." No. Let my actions speak louder than my words.
Okay. So what will your
Right.
actions do, Admir?
Yeah, and as you can see, that's why I say if people who are interested, if they've followed me, if they paid attention in the last few months, what I've been doing is I've been going out and asking the people the same questions that I ask myself. Because once you start asking the questions, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to everybody else. So if I ask you the same question that I asked myself, there's two things. Either you're going to lie to me or you're going to lie to yourself. And if you got morals, you're going to come out and straight and say, "Hey, listen, all right, cool. You asked me that question. Now let me think about it." Because that's what I did. I started asking questions. And the more questions I asked, the more things were brought out that I didn't know about. And I can say I was uninformed voter. I can say that. And I'll take that to the chin. And I'm moving on. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to open up the people to the same things that I went through, and I'll lead them to there. But I can only ask them the questions. I can only explain the situation, but I can't pull them by the ear and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do."
So let me ask one more question. When you speak to MAGA, I'm not going to say Republicans. I can say Republicans as well because they're carrying his water. What's some of the responses you get? I mean, just out of
that I'm a
curiosity.
traitor. That I'm a traitor. I'm a traitor to the man. I'm a traitor to the country. I should be deported. In fact, they all tell me that I should be deported because I'm an immigrant who just got my citizenship last year on TikTok Live, and because I don't go along with the narrative, I should be deported.
You got it under Biden?
No, Biden is the one who gave me the citizenship.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got your citizenship under Biden.
Yeah, I got it under Biden. Yes, sir.
Let me one more question.
In fact, and I apologize, Mr. Kirby. In fact, the guy that you go against, Snuggles, is the one who keeps telling me that I should be deported. In fact, he says he's going to call ICE on me.
Well, let me ask you one question, and then I'll let Val take it away.
This is wild stuff.
I'll let Val take it away after I ask this one more question. By you being now a naturalized citizen, what did you think about Trump's rhetoric about immigrants? Because it's the damnedest thing to me. People applying for citizenship, people who have gotten their citizenship, now they talk badly about the people who are, I don't know how long the process takes. I was born here. So you can read and they say 10, 20, 30 years. I can't say because I was born here, right? But, I mean, didn't that make you feel some type of way, especially when they're holding up signs saying mass deportation and they're talking about themselves? It's just the damnedest thing to me.
I'll be honest with you. I can't answer that question because I can't answer that question. I don't know what's going on. I can tell you that I was side-blinded, and you can take that for what it is. I was side-blinded with the hoorah, let's, we need to close down the border. We need to do all this. And I've said this many times. You do not realize the effect until that very same thing happens close to home.
Right. Okay. I'll let Val take it away.
All right.
Thank you, Kabir. My what caught my attention was what you were talking about is when you said you were an ex-conservative, and it actually, and I'm going to be honest, Admir, it made my skin crawl because what it told me is that you don't really understand what a conservative is.
And I don't.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you something because Kabir kind of led right into what I was going to talk about. Would you agree that immigrants coming over here and actually working the farms in this country and what they do in hospitality, construction, and everything like that is actually very efficient?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That would actually be a conservative policy. Okay, because
Really?
that's what conservative actually means. Conservative values, that's a whole new word, but conservative itself means to make things more efficient. Okay, to make things, easier to operate, easier to run, to not spend as much money. Okay, that's conservative. And that used to be what conservative values used to mean years ago. Okay, so when you say that, I want to make sure you say something instead, because conservative values is not the right term. It should actually be MAGA values. You should be ex-MAGA, not ex-conservative. Because people that have values like that don't leave somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
it does make. Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's where my concern was in the conversation, and I'm going to bring up something. I have lived in a state for the last 30 years that have been under Republican rule. Notice I did not say conservative, Republican rule. Okay, and because it has been anything but conservative. Over 30 years in the state of Texas, we have dropped from 7th to 42nd in education. Over 30 years, property tax values have gone through the roof, and they have gone through the roof because the people that govern Texas care more about business than they do the people in it. So they'll bring businesses in and give them 10, 15, 20 years of having not to pay any taxes just to get the business here. But that comes at the cost of the people and homeowners in this state. And that has been going on forever in Texas for 30 years. Cost of living in Texas is now almost as much as it is in California. Okay, other than gas, everything else as far as our taxes, our tax rates on our homes, it is actually higher in some cases than it is in California. Our insurance rates are through the roof.
You got to be kidding me, Val.
Okay.
You got to be kidding me. So the gas is the last shoe to drop, so to speak. That's crazy.
Yes, it would be the last thing to drop, right? So that's, these are the things that are happening because of Republican rule, not conservative values, Republican rule. And that's, these are the things that under Republican rule that have gone through Texas. If everybody used Texas as a deal, they go, oh yeah, they grow business. At what cost to the people that actually live there? Because there hasn't been much gain. And especially with retirement and stuff like that, we're the number one state of people losing homes. I'm like, they're losing homes because they can't afford taxes.
Wow.
These are things that happen under Republican rule. And it needs to stop. When people like you think about these things, they think about all the positive things, but they don't look at the outcomes or the negatives actually to the people. Does that make sense?
Yes. No. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is why we fight against this. That's why there actually is a lot. Now, Texas's outcome to what happened, that just the Republican rule alone, they're thinking, and you heard it, they blamed it on immigration. I know you've heard the recordings from that county and that county commissioner, right?
Yes.
Where the children, and you heard what the state had to say about it, right?
Yes.
They all put it on immigration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did immigration unalive those children?
No.
Okay. No. Republican rule unalived those children. Republican rule cost all those lives. People want to sit down there and go, and I'm not saying Trump. This is 30 years of decisions by Republicans that created what happened on July 4th. Okay? That is what I get at when I talk about these things. That is the point I am trying to get across. It is the Republican rule. Donald Trump is just the puppet that is allowing them to move this agenda more forward, which will not just affect red states like Texas. It will, in fact, start infecting all states under a national program like Texas has ran the last 30 years. Do you think that is a good idea for the country?
Yep. See, this is where are you?
Well,
Val,
while he's
can you hear
thinking
me?
about that, Val, I noticed you said infecting, not affecting. I just wanted to point that out. It's actually both, Val. It's infecting other states as well as affecting other states.
Correct.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard me, but no, that's not a good thing. Absolutely not.
That is what people like me are fighting for. I'm actually, so Admir, I'm a centrist Democrat, which is a little bit more conservative, right? And these are the things that bother me, because when people use the wrong words, we're not fighting against conservatism. Conservatism and liberalism have been a fight for all our lives in this country, but it's always been a fight that compromises to the good in most cases. Right now, there is no compromise. And this is not a set of values based on conservatism. This is a set of values based on far right-wing religious beliefs. People need to start to see the truth, because those far right-wing religious beliefs are how they want to move this country forward. And that has to be stopped.
Amen. W Val. W Val. Well, listen. We've reached that moment, ladies and gentlemen, where Big Zeus has to rock and roll and get up out of here. All right, but this has been one incredible broadcast. We covered a lot of territory, didn't we?
Yes.
We did, and this was an important moment. I hope everyone took something away from this. This is a pretty enlightening discussion. Admir, you came up here, you took your hits like as much as you could, so that's awesome. But I do hope folks out there that are thinking of the things that Admir is thinking, they're listening and they're going, well, maybe next time we go and vote, we'll do our research and we just won't take what they're saying to us. The people that push this stuff, we'll actually start to consider those other opinions.
Zeus, may I interrupt you?
Sure.
I know you're getting ready to get off because you got a lot of things to do today. But
it's like you know me.
Well, we kind of do. But can Dr. Keisha have a quick few minutes? Cause
I'm going to bring her up one-on-one because I gotta make sure that I'm the one that's keeping it clean. I gotta protect my assets around here, if you know what I mean. But I'll bring her up.
All right, and I appreciate you bringing me up. Val, Vera, it's always a pleasure.
You just wanted to protect him from Nutty.
Yes.
You know what, Val,
that's what I do.
That's why I was over talking to you, Val.
Because I know what he's trying to do, and but I'll bring Dr. Keisha up so that she can do whatever, do what she does in terms of helping to get the information out here. All right, but I want to give all of you, honestly, a huge round of applause. We all don't agree on everything, but today we were agreeable in terms of this discussion and what it takes to move this country forward. W to the panel.
Admir, you have work to do. We're going to be watching you from a distance. And you said, let your actions speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to let your actions speak for themselves.
And actually, Admir, I'm going to ask you that midterms come. I want you to bring your ballot onto TikTok. I want to watch you fill it out.
Oh, actually, that's the plan. No, seriously. That was the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is actually 5 of us who did vote for Trump that are going to be doing the
because at this
we're
point,
going to be doing
because this is training wheels, right? And this is your first time here with this situation, and we got to make sure the trust can be rebuilt and restored. So I'm going to need to see the ballot. You cover up your personal information, but every circle that's checked, and then I'm going to actually watch you go drop it off too. All right, and so then that'll make me at least feel a little bit better. W Zeus, that was an easy one. All right.
Yeah.
All
right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, W Zeus, you saw what I did. Because, I was a kid before. Oh, Mom, I won't ever do it again. Please, no, trust me, Mom, I won't do it again. And then guess what? I go and do it again. So, I know what it takes to build trust. All right, Dr. Keisha, are you there? And no. And then I want to see him drop it off, too, because you can go live with TikTok and show us where you dropped it off. All right, I want to see that. Good morning, Dr. Keisha. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Well, I've had an interesting show. We talked about a lot of things, but we haven't covered the information that you generally covered, and so hopefully you can drop some wisdom on the audience this morning.
Just a little. Listen, I was listening to him, and his voice sounds familiar. I think he's been on your live quite a few times. I heard this cycle. I would just tell those that are changing, there's a little bit of space left on our train that's moving fast. You can get on the back of the train like my ancestors did.
Okay.
But we're not going to be doing any hand-holding. We just don't have the time for that. There's a couple of things.
Facts.
First of all, yesterday there was an amazing, great live disinformation debate, like 3,000 people. And it's just my duty to do a little bit of fact-checking even on our side. I think that's accountability. We can say statements that there are vaccine preventable illnesses. I agree with that. But some of the stuff in the chat, people were a little confused. There's not one vaccine for meningitis. Oh. And actually, when your kids are going to college, you will talk about like meningitis, the Neisseria meningitis vaccine. There are viruses, like in the series MMR, the mumps that cause meningitis. There are viruses, bacteria that cause meningitis, like strep. And then there are even fungus that cause meningitis.
Wow.
Not one thing that causes meningitis that's wrong. And scarlet fever, there's not a vaccine for strep A. There's just not. So scarlet fever is not vaccine preventable. I just want to make sure we keep that clear.
So I guess the claim was, because I'm not quite sure what the claim was, and then what you're saying, so I could connect it very clear.
Oh no, the claim was there was somebody on a stage, there were some big creators, and they were, dispelling somebody saying that people pushing the vaccines and the importance of vaccines.
Yeah.
Now have like measles. Actually, last week, measles now became the highest number of cases ever in 1 year, and we're not even done with the year. So we have 1,288 cases of measles since 2000.
4,000?
No, 13, almost 1,300.
Okay, but still, the last time I checked, it was like 60 cases. That's the last time I checked.
But listen, we're only in July. This is for the whole year, so we've surpassed any other year, and we're only halfway through the year. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're talking about vaccines, and they were explaining, we wouldn't have it, and you can take a vaccine for it, but you can't take a vaccine for all cases that causes a meningitis. I just want that to be clear.
Okay, that's the part.
If you don't know, just say you don't know, and I would say stick with that, because sometimes I do see a lot of information sometimes being propelled, and we don't want to be TikTok docs, y'all. Just leave that for the professional.
Yeah. I try to stay out of anything that involves medical advice, only because I understand that. I mean, I'm not a medical expert, but it can have harmful consequences. So I always just say check with your doctor. Isn't that the right thing to do? Always to just simply check with your doctor, or do you think it's okay to use TikTok as a source?
Not even I would say come to our lives, but even we're not going to be diagnosing you there. There's no patient-doctor relationship on TikTok. There's
Bingo.
not. You can get information here, but I tell you one thing: if someone's pill pushing or telling you that they got a bottle of sea moss is going to cure everything, I would be wary. I will not even tell you there's one cure for all. That's why you exercise. That's why Zeus exercises, y'all.
She knows W Zeus and W Doc. She knows I get out there and I throw the weights around a little bit, Thank you so much.
Here's something though. This is the scary thing, because I'm in Texas. I just got back from a border town last week covering a hospital, and I'm going back next week.
Okay.
And this is a parallel. First of all, people are to blame for what's going on as far as climate change. We are to blame. When we don't believe scientists, when we don't put the safeguards in place, so that when a disaster, all of a sudden they tell you, quit filling the tub, it overflows, and then you want a plumber to come and fix your mess.
Correct.
So we are to blame. Everyone's to blame. Everyone that doesn't believe in climate change and that just gutted those services is to blame for what's going on. It is parallel to what's going on in healthcare, and we should be scared. We should be very scared. We don't know what's happening with bird flu and measles because we gutted those agencies. We are now spending time reevaluating the immunization schedule. So with people that are imposters. So we got rid of the real people. We got fake doctors now and witchcrafters doing medicine and evaluating the schedule that has been in place and has saved millions of lives.
Wow.
So we got that in place. We got the testing, so we don't know what's going on. I want y'all to be very clear. The numbers with even bird flu are not going to be the true numbers because the rate of testing, the amount of testing is not there. We have gotten rid of the research that's available. We have gotten rid of the funding. And I want y'all to know, and I've told you before, Medicare and Medicaid funding, some states Medicaid, but mostly Medicare funding, also supplies your residents.
Wow.
The residents that are training to become doctors in certain fields, a lot of that is funded through this. If that is gutted, which it will be, you will not see as many spots for residents.
Wow.
Which means less doctors out there. And your gut already doctors are already moving.
So, and this is, I'm glad you're bringing this up. I got into a conversation this weekend with a blagger, and they are of the mindset that stuff like what you're just saying is unpreventable. Can you help them understand that there are things that you're talking about that actually are preventable?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like someone going in, if you know nothing, I don't know anything about my car. So for me to say I don't go get my maintenance and wonder why it breaks down is kind of what they're doing. It's just like someone that's an environmentalist in the chat, stay in your lane. You don't understand what's happening behind the scenes every freaking day, keeping you safe. While you're in your covers, there are scientists trying to make discoveries. There are people trying to look at, matter of fact, climate change. Do you wonder why we have what's called, I bet people don't even know what a spillover event is. Do you know why diseases in animals like bird flu are now infecting humans?
I have no, honestly, I don't know why. Why?
One of it is climate change.
Oh.
As the environment changes, certain bacteria, viruses, things change. And also we see increase in cancer, heart disease, all because of climate change.
Wow. Wow. You see, so what you're saying is a lot of people don't understand that they don't know everything. And that they and when you don't know everything, you're vulnerable to being manipulated, right? With a bunch of lies, which is kind of what's happened, right?
That's what they're doing, Zeus, because they're putting people in places so that you guys don't know. You don't know. So when the next pandemic hits, you guys won't know because there's nobody that we don't know why people are just unaliving because y'all are not testing. You got rid of the scientists. You told them you don't needed them.
Yeah.
You got rid of the ways to not manipulate, but to hold down disease, immunizations.
Yep.
Even medications. I mean, I don't know if you guys think by cutting Medicare, Medicaid, and even some hospitals having to close down, how that's going to improve health. So while people are talking about the economy, every dollar you take and it's taken away because now you're unaliving from cancer, you have to send it for your family member that has cancer or has a preventable illness, a vaccine preventable illness, that hurts the economy. Healthcare hurts the economy. If you don't have a healthy society, how the heck are you going to function?
Yeah.
If all your workers are calling in now because they're hit by C19 or C19 plus, then what are you going to do? Y'all about to see. He said you guys are about to see what could happen to the economy. And I tell you, healthcare and preventable illnesses is where we need to be focusing.
Thank you. Dr. Keisha Davis. I saw a question. If you have a question for Dr. Keisha, please put it in the chat. We'll try to get through a couple of them.
I am not telling you what border town I'm at. That's none of your business.
They're trying to get a date. No, she's unavailable. That's why I brought you up by myself, because I know there's a bunch of heathens out here, a bunch of demons, and these people.
Faith D. You got Dr. Faith D in the house? Yes.
All right. What I'm doing is I'm keeping it professional with you, doctor, because I just thought about it and I said, I don't want people getting up here and I don't want you to do anything that could potentially get you implicated, because what I do on this show,
I wanted to talk to you about that because that is important. There was a doctor. Now, this is where professionalism, I'm going to be honest, some of y'all don't realize those that really do carry the name or carry our true face, and you can Google me, you can look up my license, that you have the ability to lose everything you have based on what you say on social media and who you're around. So when people do say stuff about, the MAGA people, they shouldn't get health care and all of that, there was a doctor that said something about that, the flooding, that the MAGA people shouldn't have access to help and just let them, whatever happens to them, they shouldn't get help. She now no longer has a job. Yeah. She now no longer has a job. Now, I'm self-employed. I work for places, but it can affect your brand and as a license. And unfortunately, no matter how much we could be mad at somebody, even people that didn't immunize and they went in the pandemic to get help, we still have to help them at the hospital. We have to do that.
You're bound by the constraints of your professions in a way. And so I would encourage everybody to keep that in mind, no matter what industry you're in. Just keep in mind, social media, does what it does, but try to keep it clean. That's what I do. All right. But I respect everybody. Sometimes, but every now and then I get a little worked up and a little agitated because, some of the forces I have to encounter, it's pure wickedness, if you ask me. But Dr. Keisha.
For the zoo. Somebody in the chat's talking about the plague. By the way, yes. Monday and Wednesdays we talk and break down medical stuff. I highly suggest y'all, especially y'all that are even being creators on here, you check out some of the medical information so you can make sure you're saying the right stuff, not just Googling it, right? We talk about other people Googling it. Y'all need to listen to the professionals too. But bubonic plague is rising. It is. It is rising. So
that's crazy. What?
Yeah, it is.
What? How do I know if I got that real quickly, if you don't mind?
Well, you go to a doctor.
Oh, I can't self-diagnose?
Don't self-diagnose. And to be honest, there are many things that can cause the lesions that cause plague. So that's where pathology comes into it. They test you and then we let you know.
Wow. Well, listen, thank you so much, doctor. All right. When do we get to... Oh, you got one more thing? All right.
So that's the last thing is when. Is Monday and Wednesdays and Sunday. The podcast just came out with the next episode this morning, which was vaccine preventable illnesses. And the title is How We Are Not Affording Our Children What We Had, which was immunizations and the schedule. Wow. I would check that out, y'all. Dr. Tusa, she's an immigrant. Shout out to the immigrant healthcare workers.
Nice.
She also is a triple board certified in public health, allergy, immunology, and she broke it down. So listen to that because on Wednesday we'll talk about it. But tonight we got Attorney Dye and we got my friend Attorney Crone, who used to work for the Supreme Court, breaking down the case. So we're doing it. We got like multiple physician organizations that put a lawsuit against RFK Jr. I don't know if you know about the lawsuit that came out last week. It's physicians versus RFK Jr. and what he dismantled with telling us we don't need to offer the vaccine to pregnant persons. And one of them is a pregnant doctor that now is jeopardizing not being able to protect her unborn baby.
Wow.
So tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, the attorneys in the House and the attorneys versus doctors breaking down this.
I love it. I love it. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're please following Dr. Keisha Davis. And they asked for the podcast. You want to go ahead and name drop the podcast?
Medical Collective, y'all. The Medical Collective. Matter of fact, let me see if I got a picture of it.
Yeah. See, this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. We don't just destroy misinformation and disinformation, but we promote a lot of great information. Dr. Keisha. And to control the lust, gentlemen. Seriously. All right, you were going to show us Were you about to show us the background or something?
Yeah, I was going to show you the background, but you know how things change.
Oh yeah.
TikTok, like I don't see the green screen.
Yeah, it might be taking a second to load too. Mountain Negro, please. All right. Well, listen, Doc. Big Zeus has to get up out of here, but as always, thank you for carving out time in your very, very busy morning to share what you know with all of us out here, all right? Because a lot of us, we don't get access to this information, so I truly, truly value it, seriously, all right?
You are so welcome. All right, take care, Zeus. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Dr. Keisha another huge round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that concludes this special broadcast. You all deserve a round of applause. We covered a lot of territory today, and it's amazing. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I honestly got to get up out of here. I want to also give a special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be what it is, entertaining, educational, and engaging, honestly. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to all of my haters, the Zeus haters. And these are not just my haters. These are also your haters, ladies and gentlemen. We've done another show inviting them to come up here and get it off their chest. Why are you still supporting this guy behind me? Why are you still in the cult? And they won't come up here. Instead, they'll go and host a live and talk about how triggered they got listening to us. They weren't in here. They were shadow watching me. So these are shadow watchers. And that's where they belong, honestly. They belong in the dark. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these shadow watchers, these demons, what they deserve. One last round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, listen up. That concludes this special broadcast, and officially, we are out of here. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. You all are incredible. Have a great rest of your morning, seriously. Thank you. Let's go. W. And well, you didn't have to. Well, thank you so much. W. And blessings. Take it easy, you two. Ricky. Wow, my man. There you go. Let's go. W. Yeah. Shout out to heaven. Shout out to Dolphin. All right, seriously. W. Gamira. Let's go, Arch W. Arch. Let's go, W. Don. You're right, heaven. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's on the way, bro. It's gonna be nice when I drop that. Seriously, Mount Negro. They don't like it that I never let up on Donald Trump, but it's like somebody has to tell you folks the truth. W. Cindy, seriously, thank you. Connect the dots. Let's go. Thank you. Somebody has to do it. All right. Let's do some drill, baby drill, then I got to get out of here. I don't got much time to do this, but I'll do a little bit of it. How about that?
Because she's gonna ban fracking, right? 100%.
Yeah. We'll do a little bit.
She's against fracking, against all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, about a year and a half ago, when she was getting killed in the polls, she said, "I like fracking very much." Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep, right?
We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter, drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, drill, there's a frack. He's a baby, just a lesson for your energy. She's going to thank you, right? I put there, she was against fracking, against all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the stuff.
Hit it, Cindy. America, let's go. Said I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. Who does that, right? She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it, and we're gonna end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be full. Guys,
you drill.
We're gonna take out so much.
You drill.
We're gonna pay down our debt.
We're gonna lower your taxes.
Insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal.
Get it.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill like it's Hannibal Lecter.
Let's go.
Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill,
There it goes.
drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say
the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter. Okay, that's dope.
They say,
why would you mention Hannibal Lecter? Yeah. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna lower your taxes.
Oh,
deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill, gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill like this.
It always gets me.
Drill, baby, drill.
Lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. American, let's go.
When I say the late great Hannibal.
Drill. Let's go. Hello. There you go. Yeah. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Listen. How much money do you owe? Because Tiny Tank Top Tim and CD, they ain't got nothing. These are some broke jokes, all right? And I laugh at them. All right, because what I'm going to do is different. What I'm going to do is pay off all your debt I'm gonna lower your taxes. All right, and then you know what? We're gonna do some of that drill baby drill, and some of that fracking because guess what? There's so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we gotta do is drill to get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there on TikTok Street. We are officially out of here. See you.